Hello, I'm Amy from Meglomanic.com, and today I want to talk about the chart of Klaus Schwab. So I struggled to find a birth time for the World Economic Forum, so instead I've gone for working with the chart of Klaus Schwab, seeing as he is the man who created it. So Klaus Schwab is the creator of the World Economic Forum, and he is the man who is hailed a hero by the rich and a villain by the common man. So I just want to take this moment to say, if you're interested in economics and you want to know a little bit more without having to learn all of the concepts, Gary's Economics is a fantastic resource. He's on YouTube, and his mentality is the rich have no idea about economics because they're the one controlling it and they have no idea what they're doing. So today I'm going to find out about whether Klaus Schwab is indeed one of those guys. I found a time of 7:46, which was proposed by Graham Ibel on his blog, so it seems to match up with his dashas, so I'm just going to run with it. So Schwab is an Aries rising with the chart ruler in the first house, so there's a lot of respect from others, and this is a great indicator for success, and he will have the drive to push through obstacles. This gives him a strong start to life, so he'll be very interested in his own success and his own beliefs, and he's always been destined to be a great leader. Mercury in the first is very good for the ability to speak and learn other languages. Communication is very important, and there can be an interest in the written word, so he will be very convincing and very passionate in word and deed, and he will be able to win almost any argument and probably have an excellent answer for pretty much everything. There's a great skill in debate, and he can also have a really rebellious streak that makes him eccentric and unusual, and there can be flashes of insight and genius, but because he's so outspoken and forceful with his ideas, people will always undoubtedly be impressed with his cutting-edge ideas and will be impressed with what he says, and he will be incredibly competitive and courageous, and there's a great intelligence, but health can suffer during Mercury dashas. He can be very disciplined and even require a special diet. Mars and Uranus are almost exactly conjunct, which makes Uranus very powerful for this chart. With that, he can be explosive, impatient, and aggressive, but he'll be incredibly good with numbers, engineering, science, and vehicles. K2 is in the second house, which can really create a problem with security in early life. Speech can also be delayed, and this is another sign that he is interested in foreign language. There can be a sense of constant clawing for money, but not being able to get a hold of it. There could be extravagant purchases and spending beyond one's means, and he could get money through his own efforts, but also sometimes from illicit means, and there could be donations and memberships. Rahu is in the 8th house, which can give him a great interest in banking and science, and he will undoubtedly be excellent at securing investment and donations, but there can be problems with addictions as well as the abuse of power. Rahu makes a direct aspect to Pluto, which is even more of a sign that he is obsessed with power. However, if he were to transfer this energy into something more spiritual, then this could really be an incredible thing that helps the human race. However, there is a desire for more and more power, which we can clearly see from the World Economic Forum. Pluto can be manipulative and destructive, and with Rahu, this can expand it even more to greater extremes. Jupiter also gives an aspect to Pluto, so that once again expands. It's out of control. Pluto is in the 4th house, which can be a sign of a controlling mother, and this is also the house of happiness, so there can be a sense of insecurity that makes him obsessed with grabbing property and land, and ironically it's in letting go where he can truly prosper. Neptune in the 5th is incredibly creative, and he's very good at giving guidance to others. The children can also be very creative, but there can be secrets around the children and illusion around the guidance that he gives. Jupiter is debilitated in the 10th, which can give some lack of direction and a lack of real benefits from his father. And there can also be a problem with arrogance and pride. However, Jupiter is strengthened by a Parivartana yoga, and he has made a lot of money success via publishing. His father may have been a great influence to him, and I think his father was an industrial engineer. And of course, Klaus obtained a degree in mechanical engineering in 1961. So there can be an attraction to travel, philosophy, and things that are foreign. So this is very good for a government position and positions of authority. So there can be a career in behind the scenes work for institutions. And of course that fits in well. He started an institution, and there can be links to charities and governments. Saturn is in the 12th, and that's very, very powerful. It's Kasimi, and also in a Parivartana yoga. So he's very good at retaining money and can have good associations with foreigners. But there can be difficulty with theft and debt. But I'd say that overall it's going to be manageable. There can be a lot of disappointment with friends, and they can feel quite isolating. So there is a lot of time and effort placed in humanitarian causes, because I think that's probably something that will help somebody who feels quite isolated to feel part of a group. The Sun is in the 12th, which is very good for spirituality, but there is a loss of self-esteem. He's undoubtedly secretive and likes to have time to himself, and there can be a lot of love for history, but the Sun is the Karaka for the father in a Dastana, so there can be difficulty with his father. There can be problems with children, and he may be separated from them, or they could live far away. I don't know enough about his children to actually say whether that's true or not, so I can't confirm it. Venus is in the 12th, exalted, which gives excellent abilities with finances. So this guy can move money around. He is so good at it, and he can spend it, retain it, and get large amounts of money from other people. He's amazing at finding a deal. And he really is a charmer with his ideas, and his career would have kicked off fully when he started engaging in foreign affairs, as this is his 12th house and it is so strong. But there can be problems with marriage, or the wife may spend a lot of time traveling. Venus is Gandanta, which is out of control, and in some ways this is a karmic force. So Venus is very important, and when it's activated, it will bring out karmic events. And incidentally, he is in the subdasha of Venus right now. So he's probably up to something. The moon is in the 11th, and this gives lofty dreams of making changes to impact humanity as a whole. There can, however, be problems with friends, associates, and groups. There is a great intelligence, but as the moon is so dark, there can be problems with his mother. And I did hear that his mother abandoned the family when he was very young, and he never saw her again. So I'm not sure how true this is, but it fits the story that I'm seeing here. Interestingly, there can be some benefits from his mother, or there can be a real drive for property. And it's in having a dwelling or a property that he really gets his happiness and a sense of security. And this may have been a problem in early life, but it's got better the older that he has got. The moon is directly opposite Neptune, which is another sure sign that his mother was really distant and difficult to understand, addicted, or just plain absent. This can also cause problems to the mind, which can cloud his judgment or the mental processes, especially emotional ones. And teamed up with a debilitated Jupiter, I would say that his morality can be questionable at times. Now, my mother says, he's Klaus cockroach, because Schwab means cockroach in the Czech language, and she dislikes him so. But it's actually the name of somebody who descends from Swabia, and he is born in Ravensburg in Swabia. Nonetheless, I still can't figure this guy out. I think he's got good intentions, but his craving for power can be so problematic, and he's very corruptible because of the loss that he experienced as a youngster, and his whole character wasn't built on the greatest of foundations. He's currently in the Moon Dasha, which is going to bring a lot of groups and associates, and he doesn't have the best house here, and that can be instability with the moon. But he could be mixing in new groups and gaining land and property. Venus is a karmic planet, and he is going to be working with governments and behind the scenes. And he changes into the subdasha of the Sun in April 2024, and that's going to be more of the same really, but he will be able to express more creativity. October 2024, he starts a new dasha of Mars, and he could start to really struggle with his health then, but he could find that this is good for his impact on the world around him. Thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed today's reading, and I will see you next week. Of course, if you like the video, press the like button, subscribe, and go to Moon Mindology if you would like a reading yourself. Thank you so much. Bye.